Monica Wagner. This is for planning and organising, managing the VCE year. So, work smarter, not harder is a mantra for life, not just VCE. However, if you do this year, it will really help you both get some enjoyment out of the year and give yourself the best chance of achieving your goals. Being aware of what needs to be done and when, how you study best, and what your priorities actually are, will help you do this. Just spending more time on something does not equal better outcomes, more knowledge retention, or even higher marks. So, what we're suggesting here is plan so you can fulfil the mantra. When we're looking at the VCE, it's clearly a marathon and not a sprint. To get a sense of what we need to consider, we need to have a look at a year as a whole. This helps us identify trouble spots or times when a bit of a break, or at least a slowdown, will be possible. I'm a big believer in colour coding everything, so it's easy to identify at a quick glance what's going on. However, this is not something that appeals to everyone. The main thing is to get the information down in a way that is easy for you to follow, see what's required and what you can in fact plan for. Onto a yearly calendar, and there are free examples which can be downloaded from the net, as well as pretty fancy perpetual year calendars. It's worth penciling in all the events that you're required and or really want to attend at school this year. At the same time, you need to put all your personal commitments. These can be performances, involvement in sports teams and work, but don't forget the family and friends who will be a big part of your coping mechanism for this year. You will have a SAC calendar for your subjects early in the year. Make sure you put these in. If you don't have the actual date, put it into the beginning of the week. If you're doing folio subjects, make sure the due dates are there big and bold. You need a lot of time to prepare for these. You will also need to consider the work, hurdle requirements if you like, that needs to be completed along the way, as well as things such as due dates for submissions to VTAC. Each semester has different trigger points and may have quite different considerations. It's therefore worth paring down that yearly plan to these more micro levels, each time including more detail, but not looking quite so far ahead. As I said, when looking at the year overall, you do need to really think about what you need to do this year. It's also vital to be realistic. We often start a year like this with quite unrealistic expectations of ourselves. Do keep this in mind. When doing a time audit, it is as important to include the necessary mundane things like eating and travelling, as well as those things which sustain us. It will be a mighty long year if you have no fun along the way, and it will be a guilt-ridden year if you don't allow time for the fun things you end up doing, because you'll never allow yourself to just relax and enjoy, because you know that you should be doing something else. Don't forget to ask the people you live with what they want from you this year too. You will be needing their support in a variety of ways. It might be worth having a chat before it is at a time of stress. It's also important to recognise that there are things that happen in and around you that put you off studying. You need to be realistic about what, for example, time pressure does to your capacity to concentrate for long periods of time. If you can talk to a teacher or teachers about this and get their support, that would really help you out. While we often just go to SAC or examination dates when we think of the key dates for the subjects we are studying, it is more than this. It's helpful to keep a timeline for each unit at the beginning of each subject folder section of your work. Giving yourself reminders in an easy way is helpful. Do have an outline of the units with the necessary resources nominated for each unit. This makes it easier to determine if you have what you need and gives you time to source it if you don't. Knowing the sort of task you'll be asked to do will make a difference to how you prepare, when you prepare, how many hours, days, weeks you need to prepare. It will also help you identify if it's the sort of task you are likely to procrastinate about. For example, just finishing reading that English novel. There are two elements to using time wisely. What do I want to have achieved by the end of this session? How much time do I have and how can I use it best? Study habits, the next session, will help you here. However, you do have to start thinking about how best to use the time available to you. For example, I have 15 minutes here. What can I realistically achieve in this time? And if the answer every time is, I'll just make another coffee, you're setting yourself up for an inefficient day, week, month, even year. So, clearly, you're not going to write an essay in 15 minutes. It's probably actually wasting your time if you even try or to start. However, 15 minutes might be long enough to source material from your notes to ensure you have what you need to write that history, English, art essay later that day. Or it may be long enough to flick through the cue cards for subjects which require some rote learning, reinforcing the knowledge learnt in class that day, languages, psychology, business management. During study periods or directly before or after school might also be good times to set up collaborative learning opportunities with peers. It saves travel time and makes you feel less isolated when in the school environment. Careful with this one though. You do have to be really disciplined to make sure you don't just use this as chat time. Just as an aside, teaching someone else an idea is a powerful way of knowing you know the material. So do help each other. It helps you too. You do need to have quiet non-screen time. A calm mind is one which can work most efficiently, and if we ask our brains to be permanently on, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Do also try to set up daily plans. It allows you to build up flexibility in bigger plans. It's good to trial various aspects of your weekly plan. It's important to try different study habits and techniques. See the next section for some ideas. We sometimes revert to particular approaches because that's what we've always done, rather than because it's a technique which is actually useful for us. Different times of day lend themselves to different types of study, different discipline demands and different outputs, and we are all different too. For example, I can think more effectively about theoretical ideas early in the morning, so this is when I do my consolidation of ideas, exposure to new ideas and extended writing. However, after a full day at work, I find most thinking challenging, so this is a good time to do administrative tasks. After dinner, I usually have about 1 hour of decent thinking time left in me, so I'll do the equivalent of short answer tasks or find research I'll read at a later time. Be realistic about how much you can achieve in the time you've got. In the first couple of weeks of study, perhaps time yourself so your guessing is more accurate. This helps you plan more effectively and makes you know what is a realistic goal for yourself. The bonus here is this means you enjoy your breaks more because you're not obsessing about, I haven't finished X, because you've allowed enough time. Alerts are really helpful. Clearly you need to know the due date, but you can alert yourself when particular steps need to be completed so that you can submit work on time, be ready for that SAC. While people often see this as vitally important for folio subjects, it's actually just as important for the non-folio disciplines as well. Seriously, don't be too hard on yourself. Sometimes things don't go to plan. Sometimes things don't work. It's okay. Learn from these glitches, if that's what they are, and move on. Guilting yourself is not a useful organisational technique.